Yeah.
Ugh, you did
I
that
just
last
made
week
it.
too.
I did. Oh, I just made it today. Anyway,
Ugh. How are you, Tiff?
I'm good. I'm
Happy
good.
Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
It has been another week already.
Yes. I don't know how the time flies by so easily.
It does. It goes by so quick.
Every
So
time.
quick. Hi, folks. My name is Jim, and welcome to our live stream. So, this live stream is it's a blast to do every single week. I really thoroughly enjoy it. I thank you, Dr. Tiff, for giving your time every single week. And every week we have some amazing guests. I am really excited about today's guests.
Yes.
I get asked a lot of questions about a specific condition all the time, and I'm just going to leave that as tease bait out there. There's a condition that I get asked about all the time, and one of our guests has beat that. So, anyway, if you're just now joining us, welcome to the live stream. My name is Jim, and I used to be a type 2 diabetic. And I say that I used to be a type 2 diabetic very intentionally. I used to be a type 2 diabetic. I reversed it. As in,
Yes.
I once had a 12.2% A1C. I now have a 4.8% A1C. I reversed type 2 diabetes. I don't have anymore. Uh,
Yes.
and I say reversed very cautiously because there's a lot of debate about what's the word. Is it cure? I don't believe it's cure. Is it remission? Sure. I like the word reverse. My endocrinologist specifically used the word reverse. So I'm going to go with that. So,
Yep.
uh, so I beat it. I also had really high cholesterol, like really bad, 459 LDL. And I came across this program through a friend of mine, a mutual friend of Dr. Tiffany and I's, and she introduced me to it, and the rest is history, as they say, right? I've now no longer have type 2. I'm no longer medicated. And when I say that I reversed it, a lot of people say they reversed it, but they're still on medications.
Yeah.
I'm not on any medications. I have a 4.8% A1C with zero medications. That is a reversal. If there
Yes.
was a definition, that's it, right?
Yes.
So I no longer have it. I went to TikTok and started talking about the fuel grade system, what we're going to talk about today. And boy, it's just been an amazing ride. I came across, that's how I met Dr. Tiffany, sort of. Sort of.
Sort of.
I mean, I came across you, and then we found out that there was the mutual friend. I don't think I
Yeah.
knew about that. I don't know if I did or not.
I don't know. I don't know.
Dr. Tiff, tell us who you are.
Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be on here. And you know what? I decided to be doctory today. So I hope y'all not having blood pressure issues.
That
White coat
is,
hypertension is real, though. You know,
that
I
is
want you to laugh.
such a corny joke. Blood pressure and white coat. That's such a corny joke.
Figure I'd steal it from you. He did that before we got on.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Before we started the live, I made that same joke. Dad joke.
yes.
Dad joke.
Okay, so I am a real doctor. I don't just play one on social media. I am board certified in family and lifestyle medicine. And for almost 20 years, I was practicing family medicine. I'm the doctor. You would come see, and I'd say, oh, your sugar's high. You have diabetes. You have high blood pressure. You have high cholesterol. I was that initial doctor, right? And so I know all too well about writing prescriptions to try to improve those things. I didn't get a lot of practice with lifestyle changes because I really didn't know how to help my people be consistent. I didn't. I would try and say, oh yeah, eat less carbohydrates, but and then come back and see me in 3 months, and then in 3 months the sugar was still high. And what was I going to do? Start a medication. I mean, I'm not going to wait till you have a stroke. This is my thinking. Plus, I didn't know how to help. So I decided there has to be something else. I was tired of doing this. I even did telemedicine, seeing patients in 48 states across the country and seeing that this isn't just a Alabama issue. This is like everywhere issue. Everybody's struggling. Everybody has a whole basket of medications, which is ridiculous. And they don't really have any lifestyle changes or tools to help them, not real knowledge of it. So ended up getting board certified in lifestyle medicine, and I learned, had some coaching strategies, and I started saying these things on social media. And that's when I got connected with our mutual friend who said, hey, have you heard of these products? And of course, you know, me, like all probably a lot of you, I'm like, whatever, none of that's going to work. You know, it's all about the prescriptions. And I sure did learn that day. And I've been changed ever since. I've been able to help my mother reverse her pre-diabetes, able to help my brother get off his insulin, who's Trulicity, his metformin, took his little happy tail out the ICU and put on these products. Okay, that's how much I believed in them. And I was able to go for my blood pressure medicine. So that was enough for me. And here I am talking about it every week with the Healthy Pit Master.
I'm sorry, I'm replying to Espinola right now. Keep going for another minute.
Yeah, that's a shame because you know I can talk. But
The mic is back to you.
that's all I need. Well, you know what? I'm so excited to see all these people in here. And if you guys, and it looks like some of you already know, make sure you tag people that you want to be in on this live, that you know needs to hear about this information, even people you haven't talked to yet. This will pop up on their Facebook, and they'll just say, "Ooh, something to look at." So very smart for us to be doing that. So I'm excited. I already see people doing it, and I see my team members in there. I love how they come and support us. Isn't that awesome
I
too,
love it.
Jim?
I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. So yeah, and wow, you did that better than I do. I think from now on you're gonna do that part. Tag people. If you have been tagged into this, hey, by the way, Tiff, something I keep on forgetting at the end of every one of these when we're going through everything. Remind me HSA, FSA.
Oh yeah,
Remind me that today.
yeah.
Okay, so if you've been tagged into here, if you've been asked to join here by somebody else, hey, you know what? That person thinks that this could benefit you. So just listen. It's an hour-long live stream. Not that bad. Hopefully, it's not painful. Dr. Tiffany's amazing. The two guests are amazing. You got to kind of do it with me.
Yeah, Jim's all right.
I'm all right. You know?
Nah, whatever.
So stick around for it. If you should decide that you want to order the products, just get with the person that invited you into the live stream, and they'll tell you exactly how to get the products. So, boy, I've just got too many distractions. We're live. We are live on a lot of different platforms right now.
Yes.
I believe this is the most we've ever been live on at the same time. And you know, Tiff, you asked me a couple of weeks ago to kind of bring that up, and then I kind of touched on it last week. Each week, this live stream goes out to thousands upon thousands of people across all the different platforms. It's really, really been super cool. It's exciting to be a part of. But we use a tool called Restream, and I'm able to look into Restream, and I can see most of the comments, but for some reason I can't see Instagram and TikTok. So I've got a phone with our TikTok live stream, and I've got an iPad with our Instagram live stream. So if you see me doing this, I'm just checking for comments on the other platforms. So we're live on a lot of different platforms, and there are literally thousands of people who are going to see this every single day, or every Wednesday night, and we are live every Wednesday night. So if you've been tagged, if you've been invited to this, listen, it's only an hour. And then if you are a user of the product and you're really, really excited about it, and you think, hey, my sister could use this, or my best friend could use this, this is a perfect opportunity for you to put them in front of Dr. Tiff. Just type the @ symbol, like Dr. Tiff was saying. Just type the @ symbol and then start typing their name, and eventually it'll populate. Hit enter. Boom, they're done. And I see a lot of hellos in the comments section.
Yeah.
A lot of hellos. Cynthia over on YouTube. Jamal over on Facebook. Let's see, where did it go? Good evening, Jamal. And hello, Susan.
And I love the Cynthia talking about I ordered last week. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, really? Right on. That is awesome. Awesome, 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 Cynthia. So here's the trick, Cynthia. Be consistent with the products. Yes. That's all. Be consistent and you will see results, okay? Yes. And congratulations. Mm-hmm. Amanda Yu, Dr. Amanda Yu.
Yes. So, that's our resident pharmacist. Okay.
Tanya. Okay, so with that being said, you know what? I feel like I'm wasting time right now. We've got a couple amazing testimonials, and I don't want to waste any more time because I want to give them as much time as possible. Dr. Tiff, Espinola, I don't know Espinola, so this is all you.
Yes. Well, you know what I love? I love about this. That's why I call myself a media physician. Because now I'm on social media talking about this stuff. I no longer practice, and I get to be connected with people on TikTok, no less. And so on TikTok, I got to run into this lovely soul, and it's just so much fun. So I'm not going to say anything else because I'm going to let her tell her story because she can tell it better than me.
Hi, everyone. My name is Espinola, and thank you for letting me be here and tell my story, Dr. Tiffany and Healthy Pitmaster. It's been a long road, and I'll tell you just a little bit about my family. My grandmother had diabetes, and she had both her legs amputated. My brother died earlier this year, And before he died, he had both his legs amputated. Diabetes has been haunting my family for a very long time. It's a generational curse that I really want to see stop with my generation. So, having said that, I'm a very avid TikTok user, and I was on TikTok scrolling through, and I saw Dr. Tiffany. I was very skeptical. I have to admit, I did not know anything about the product, hadn't heard anything about the product, and but I did know that some of the symptoms that she was talking about, neuropathy and other things were happening in my life. And so, I know I have like high blood pressure. I have, the neuropathy, and I also have Graves' disease. It's a thyroid condition. I just thought, if I take my medicine, everything is going to be okay, and I can just continue to live my life. When they prescribed me Synthroid as a means to control my thyroid problem, they said I was 20, 21, something like that, very, very young. They said this is for the rest of your life. And at that point, I didn't know what that meant because, being 21, you're thinking, well, that's got to be jillions of years. So, I accepted it, and I've been taking that medication since I was 21. Well, I'm now over 50, and I think it's time for a change. And so as I was scrolling through TikTok, I met Dr. Tiffany Marie, and she talked about a lot of the things that were happening in my family. My brother, he had kidney failure and all types of other things go wrong before he finally succumbed um, to diabetes. Now, he was a man who fought in the war in Vietnam. He was, decorated soldier. He came back here. He became a police officer. He did very good at his job. He retired from that. But something so mysterious as diabetes took him out of the picture. And a lot of my family members just we're scared. We don't know because who is it going to hit next? So I said, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to do this. I'm going to stop putting it off because as you get closer to 60 and 70, the time for change the door is going to close. So I finally found Dr. Tiffany talking about some of these things. And I said, let me give this a shot. It can't hurt. I said, I don't have the money. Okay, how to do this? So I'm very leery, very cautious. I said, this is what I'll do. I'll take the information, copy the link, and I'll go on to my website and do it that way outside of TikTok because I didn't know and I was very leery about it. I went outside of it and I took her link and I put it in to the system, and they sent my system out. So I was like, okay, I have it. Now what do I do? And at some point during that time, Dr. Tiffany actually reached out to me via text and was guiding me and helping me and saying, hey, this is how you do this. Read the information on the website, go through the process, take your time, don't worry about it. The first 3 weeks, I lost weight, and I thought, "This is incredible. I love this," you know? It wasn't I didn't lose 50, 60, 70 pounds. I lost about 10 pounds, but I was so excited about that. My neuropathy, I have a job where I sit all day long, and, that was the cause of the neuropathy. That started to go away. It started to not feel as uncomfortable to sit like I do during my normal 8 hours of day of working. And I said, "Okay, I'm starting to feel some physical changes, not so much, a lot of lot of visual changes, but a lot of physical changes I was seeing. And I was doing the measuring. I did measure myself down a couple of inches around my arms. I measured around my neck. I measured my waist. And the measuring is working, and it's keeping me in a positive mindset. I like the fact that I might not see the pounds drop off right away, like a lot of the guests who I've seen on this program have done, but I am seeing differences, and I'm feeling so much better. I have to tell you this story, which I don't think I've told you, Dr. Tiffany. Um, I got up one morning and I made my drink, and I'm drinking it and I'm going through my day. And my daughter, she was still asleep, and it was like maybe 7 o'clock in the morning. I go in and I knock on her door and I say, "Hey, how are you? Good morning." I was so over the top happy. And she's like, "What is wrong with you?" This really is something that makes you feel good. It really, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is doing, but I do know it's making me feel terrific. And I love that feeling. So I said, okay, I'm all in. So I started taking my balance, I'm doing the fiber, and I never realized I've taken fiber before in my past. And I took that one that begins with an M. I'm not supposed to mention, I don't think, right? So I was taking that and I was like, oh, yeah, this is okay. And I didn't have any feelings about the Metamucil. However, when I started doing the balance, it totally changed my system, and I'm a lot more. Can I get graphic here? I'm a lot more regular, and it's just a lot of differences that I've noticed. I wake up every morning and I say, okay, what next? I'm loving it right now, and I want to continue to follow the program and to see. I'm going to eventually go to my doctor sometime this summer, and she's going to say, okay, let's do the blood work, let's do all of that. So I did this one thing. I tried to come out of my shell, and I did a video on TikTok, and I told everyone my story, and I'm trying to record my story as I go to let everyone know what the changes are um, that I get, from this whole experience. And hopefully I'll be able to do that every 2 weeks. So just putting it out there. In 2 weeks, I'll have another story out there. I can't wait to post it because I feel terrific.
Yes. What do you do with that, Jim? I mean,
I love it. Well, I mean, okay, first off, I get it with the kids. I get it. Walk into their room first thing in the morning, they'd be like, I'm surprised you didn't get a punch. I think I would have gotten punched. But I get it. Well, I mean, and I think anybody who's on Unimate, and I also heard you say, I don't know what's in this, I don't know what it's doing. Well, guess what we're going to do today? We're going to
yep.
talk about exactly that. Um, but what I think I love most about this is it sounds like you're kind of coming out of your shell a little bit and saying, hey, I think I want to talk about this. And that, I think, is really what ends up happening is people, once they're on this and they start seeing some relief, they start seeing I see Michael Martin in the comments section right now. Here's a guy that was on 25 pills per day, feeling about as helpless and hopeless as he could feel. And boy, now I think he's told all of Mississippi about it.
Yes. Yes.
So I love that. I love the fact that you're kind of stepping out of your comfort zone and trying to get the word out, because that's really what it is. We have to kind of use each other to get it out there. So I love it.
Yes. I'm so proud of you for sharing. I appreciate you. We needed to hear that.
Thank you.
Well,
And I appreciate the two of you for being there and for sharing all of these people's stories. I mean, it inspires me. I've been on several of the YouTube
Yes.
and several of the Facebook, and I'm amazed at how many stories I hear and the changes that are happening around me. I love that I'm a part of that.
I love it
Yes. Yes.
too. Yeah. Okay. Well, Espinola, what I'm going to do is yours is basically a camera, as I mentioned. I'm going to go ahead and shut your camera off. And we're going to have Dr. Tiffany kind of explain what the problem is. But Espinola, if you'll stick around for me, I'd like to bring you back at the end of it for questions. If anybody has any questions specifically for you. Does that work?
I'd love to. I'd love to. Thank
All
you.
right. Dr. Tiffany, talk to us. Educate us, will you?
Yes.
Throw down some Dr. Tiffany knowledge on us.
Well, you know I'm coming with it because I got the white coat on today. Okay. I mean, you know what? I'm going to keep saying this until I get some more data. But the problem is 93% of Americans, because I did the math, are struggling with their cardiometabolic health. Only 7% are actually running around here healthy. That's a lot less than people think. And then, of course, the number one medication that we as doctors prescribe to try to decrease cardiovascular risk only decreases the risk by 1%. I mean, I think I did a post that said if you were told to take a drug that's only going to decrease your risk for heart disease by 1%, is it worth it? When lifestyle changes, which is in this little circle over here with the yellow, can decrease that risk by 39%, is it worth taking a drug with side effects when it's only going to decrease it by 1%? I say no. But some people say otherwise. But anyway, hopefully you are the people that say no too. That's why you're listening. So diabetes, when we talk about metabolic health, diabetes falls under that umbrella. Okay. And 30.3 million people are struggling with diabetes. Now, this is 2022, and the numbers have gotten worse. But that's 1 out of 10 people. And then 1 out of every 4 people don't know they have it. And then pre-diabetes, which is the before we diagnose diabetes, we diagnose pre-diabetes with an A1C of 5.7 and above. And then diabetes, type 2 diabetes with an A1C of 6.4 and above, okay? So 84.1 million people, 1 out of 3 adults have pre-diabetes, and 9 out of 10 don't know they have it. Now, the biggest thing, and I'm going to keep screaming this from the rooftops until this stops being the number one killer, this is still the number one killer in the U.S., heart disease. Yeah, we got people to stop smoking as much, thank goodness, but this still is killing us more than anything else. And so, I wanted to have an impact on the world when I went to medical school. And so I did private practice. And unfortunately, because I didn't know any lifestyle tools, not enough to be able to help my patients be consistent and make the changes, I ended up prescribing people all these medications. And I had people come to see me looking like they were going to a weekend getaway with suitcases and bags, okay, of medicines. And I don't know anybody on a whole bunch of medications that feels and looks good. So at some point I said, okay, it's got to be something else. And that's when I did the lifestyle medicine, right? Learning about making those changes first. We are not bound by our genetics. I consider our genetics like the land we're given, and how you till it using the lifestyle changes determines what type of crop or fruit you're going to yield. You can not take care of it and have a barren wasteland, or you can take care of it and have great health. Now, over half of adults in the world are dealing with insulin resistance. So this isn't just a US problem. And when you look at this, insulin resistance is at the center. Diabetes, heart disease, cancer, fatty liver, polycystic ovarian syndrome, thyroid conditions are related to this too. And we're going to have a great story in regards to that shortly. So it's important to understand the symptoms. I like to do my lives talking about these skin tags because lots of people don't realize this is not genetic. You're not supposed to have these skin tags just because you get older. No, ma'am, no, sir. And the way to get rid of them is not the laser, not the cutting, not the tearing them off your cells, because they will grow back. You want to get to the root of the issue, the insulin resistance, the dark patches on the neck. Yeah, not good. That's from insulin behaving like a growth hormone, which is what it can do. And it makes the overlying of cells, and it becomes dark patches on the neck or even the skin tags, okay? The cravings for sugar and salty, that's literally because your cells aren't getting the glucose inside because your insulin is high. Your cells have become resistant. And so insulin can't bring that glucose in. And so your cells literally are hungry. Difficulty losing weight, really around that midsection is where it's really even hard. And then the PCOS for women, even the low thyroid issues, erectile dysfunction for men, the man boobs, and then your high blood pressure and that itis. That itis is a big one. You know, you're not supposed to be having a coma just because you ate a Thanksgiving dinner. Okay, so what is insulin resistance? Insulin is a hormone that we actually already have. So why in the world are we injecting people with type 2 diabetes insulin when we already had the insulin? That's a whole nother topic, a whole nother TikTok. But so insulin's job, the job we're going to talk about is delivering energy into the cells, and it stores excess glucose as fat and regulates blood sugar levels. Insulin resistance, like I was saying earlier, is when your cells stop responding. What causes insulin resistance? Too much insulin in the bloodstream. And then what causes too much insulin is really what we put in our mouths. Now, there's some other things, but I'm just going to really be simply talking about this today, okay? And looking at the global nutrient database, about 3/4 of what we are eating in the world are carbohydrates. Why does that matter? Because carbohydrates break up into glucose, and they break up into the most amount of glucose. Protein is going to increase your glucose level a little bit. Fat is not going to do much at all. So you're going to have the most increase in your insulin response to your carbohydrates. So if you were told, like we told so many people, like way back in 1992 with that whole pyramid, to eat 6 to 11 servings of carbohydrates, then we also told people to eat every 2 hours to, feed their metabolism. Yeah, we get stuff like this, and we're dealing with the results of that. So your insulin level, because you've been sleeping all night, it's going to be the lowest, unless you wake up in the middle of the night and snack. That's going to be a period of fasting for you. And so when you have your first meal, if it's carbohydrate rich, that's going to kick up that insulin level. And for a lot of us, it is because, we were taught breakfast is the most important meal of the day with our cereal and our oatmeal and our French toast and our pancakes. And if you hear the theme there, those are our carbohydrates. Yeah, so that kicks up the insulin. Then about a couple hours later, you're tired because you had that big, huge carbohydrate bump. Now you're getting itis and you want another snack. And because that sugar gave you so much of a high, you're looking for another sweet snack. And sometimes we try to make what we think are better choices, like maybe Nutri-Grain bars, maybe a granola bar. But unfortunately, those have a good amount of carbohydrates in there too. And they're processed, even though we may think they're healthy, but that's another talk. So you get the increase in the insulin, and then you have your lunch. Maybe it's pizza, maybe it's a sandwich, maybe it's a burger. Do you see the theme here? Then you have your snack, afternoon snack. Yeah. And unless you're doing nuts, where most of us probably aren't, but say you're doing some nuts, that's not as bad. And then you have your dinner and your dessert. The big issue here is at the end of the day, your insulin level is high and never got down to baseline. And that's what's bathing your cells. And that's why they become resistant. The other problem here is, so I'm a believer. I believe that God didn't set us up to fail here. He put these things in nature for us to eat, covered in fiber, like wild rice, look like that. But how we eat white rice without the fiber in it. Or our fruits, when we're drinking the juice, we're doing it without the fiber. The fiber is our protective mechanism. It's what helps us. It helps us with our digestion, but it also helps us with decreasing the blood sugar. It covers it up. Like that was there to help us, okay? But the reality is, it's not your fault entirely on what I was alluding to earlier. This processed food is not anybody's friend. I don't care what nobody says. I like to call it big fooda because it's not real food. Your packaged, boxed, and barcoded things, those don't have anything helpful in there for us. They don't. They have colors in there to make them look addictive. They have more sugar, so then they taste addictive, and we end up eating them and eating them more often. So 5 things you can do immediately. 1, trying to focus on more of a low glycemic index diet, and you can go to the University of Sydney, Australia's website. They actually have the database for that, to where you can plug in what you're eating. And then another way to look at this for my people who are like, I don't want nobody telling me I can't eat carbohydrates. Then I want you to focus on proteins. Prioritize your protein. Eat your fiber and your protein first. And by the time you get to your carbohydrates, you're barely going to want to eat it. And same thing with avoiding the processed carbs. You just don't need to eat those anyway. That just needs to get off your list. Don't put them in your pantry. Just stop. There's no moderation to those. They aren't. They are made to be addictive. And then your resistance training. I know most of us know about cardio. We do that all the time. But adding something that's going to build muscle is huge. It brings that glucose into the cell. And we had a great talk about this on our Tuesday night call. So if any of you want to hear more about that, talk to the person who invited you to this call so you can get the recording of that, because it was awesome in talking about muscle and glutathione, out the scope of what we're talking about right now, but great. And then fiber, because like I told you, fiber was there to dampen the effect of that carbohydrate that we're eating. So that's huge. Increasing that makes the difference. There are studies that show if you eat maybe 30 grams of fiber a day, that can actually be as helpful as taking a statin, that one that decreases your cardiovascular risk by 1%. So did y'all hear me? A lifestyle change like that, right? And then, of course, time-based eating or intermittent fasting. And this is usually when I lose people, but there's so much power and help in fasting. So if you can get past that 16 hours, you actually get to autophagy, to where you get cellular cleanup. You get removal of damaged cells and improving even neurons, which is huge because we thought that doesn't happen. Fasting actually kicks in and helps us heal our cells. Now, what if there was something that made doing these 5 things easier? Well, one, the GLP-1 hormone definitely helps this. And we all have this hormone. The problem is we have stopped responding to it. Our lifestyles, the food we've eaten, the medications we've taken have just made this not as prevalent. So it doesn't do its job as well. And so pharmaceutical companies realized this, and then they made this product to try to help with diabetes, but they saw that it helped with weight loss too. They made something to bind to the receptors to pretend like it was the GLP-1 hormone. And that way it can decrease your gastric emptying, how the food moves through your gut, but also make you not as hungry. Unfortunately, with the shots, that whole turning off the sweet cravings goes away after 2 years, as well as the other baggage I like to say that it comes with, the blindness, the gut perforation, the gut paralysis, things that are, life-threatening, and nobody wants those, and thyroid cancer, can't leave that out. So great thing is with the tea that we like and the fiber, we have a natural way to boost our GLP-1 without all those crazy side effects, with these chemicals that are actually in there that have been boosted up particularly. So it's not like anything you're going to get over the counter. And so why am I up here talking? Is one, we have great studies, we have the science, we get testimonials, we get people like Espanola, who just want to just tell their story from the rooftops. They're just a user. They watch what we do and they see the results. And then we have hundreds of thousands of other people with great results too. And, that's another reason why I wore my white coat. So I can look like this superhero again. Because, I love her. Now, you can find me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube as Dr. Tiffany Marie. And I literally am just tired of writing prescriptions. And using these products is helping me do that.
I love the white coat.
I might have to keep wearing it.
Yeah. And I think we need to do some sort of a cape thing to it.
I gotta get a cape.
You're gonna do your superhero thing. We gotta have a cape. Superheroes need capes, and plus capes are just cool. I don't think the cape is utilized enough in today's attire.
Yes, I agree.
I think we should definitely rock the cape more often. Such an idiot. See, this is what I contribute.
Right. Yeah. Don't be laughing when I have a cape next week. I'm just
okay.
Okay.
So this next guest, I'm really excited. So she did not find me. She did not find you on TikTok, but through this group of people that are this huge family of people, and I'm really going to call it's a community. There's a huge community. So I'll just say through the community, I came across Crystal, and Crystal, she struggled with something that I think a lot of people deal with. And I get asked about this particular condition all the time. And so I reached out to her and said, hey, Crystal, I do this live stream with Dr. Tiffany every Wednesday. And would you mind being our guest and telling your story?
Well, thank you so much. I am so grateful that you asked me to do it, because I think, you're right. A lot of people struggle with Hashimoto's, hypothyroidism, all of those wonderful things that plague us, years, like Dr. Tiffany talked about. Sometimes these things don't, show their ugly face, or we get tested and our thyroid TSH is normal, so they don't do further testing. And that's exactly what happened to me. So it can be festering for 10 years and we don't even know it. So I do appreciate you again letting me come on and tell my story, because I know there's so many people that this can help. And I don't want to go all the way back, because I could be on here for hours talking about it. But just because what this protocol has done for me blows my mind. I had for anyone who has seen some of my pictures, I'm 55, so I have, skin now, but you can see here, I had surgery, but my neck was swollen out to here. And even as a kid,
Crystal, let me know. I uploaded your pictures, your before and after pictures. So when you're ready, let me know, and I'm going to start putting those across the screen. I'll do those when you say.
Oh, well, you can go ahead while I talk. I don't care. But you can do whatever you want. It's your life. So I just had this really enlarged neck. You know, my thyroid was angry, totally angry. And even as a little kid, my mom had hypothyroidism, but people don't, physicians, sorry, Dr. Tiffany, you do, I'm sure, but you can't really see my neck there, but you can in another picture that I had. It They just don't check for your thyroid antibodies. And then that's the picture right there where my neck is like super inflamed. And that was right before I started the system. So, long story short, I was 52. I had Hashimoto's, you know, hypothyroid was born in me out of that, and autoimmune disease. And I had issues with endometriosis. I had PCOS. I had hypertension. I was being treated for that. I had joint pain that was horrible. I was getting injections in my right ankle every 3 months by a podiatrist just to take down the inflammation. I was having these episodes where I was like breaking out in this horrible sweat, like literally crawling on the ground. My husband's like, "Why are you in the kitchen in the middle of the night crawling on the ground?" Because I was so hot. And it was, you know, you go to the emergency room with dizziness and fatigue and adrenal fatigue, and they give you a psych evaluation. And I'm a nurse, and I'm like, I know I have depression and anxiety, but I'm not having an anxiety attack. There's something physiologically wrong with me. I had the numbness and tingling in my fingers and on the bottom of my feet. Like I couldn't even go get a pedicure because the warm water would burn my feet. I had horrible brain fog, and then the skin tag started, and I started getting the dark patches on my neck, like mainly right in here. Um, I had been diagnosed with gastroparesis and reverse peristalsis, where basically, and GERD, obviously, where your food just starts moving backwards. And I had to be on Reglan regularly every day, multiple times a day, to get my food to move the right way. I mean, it was like I had added up like 14 different medications I was on. I had sebaceous cysts that were popping up all over my body since I was in my early 20s. And those are very painful, and you have to have them surgically removed. And I turned 50, and I thought, at 52 and about in that picture, I'm like, I'm just stuck. I mean, I might as well hang it up. This is just what happens when you turn 50, right? I mean, this is it. And you know, I was scrolling on TikTok, saw some education about insulin resistance, about heart disease, and I have loved the study. As a nurse, I've always loved learning the human body. I got to learn from cadavers. I feel very fortunate in my nursing training that I got to learn from. We had 10 cadavers, and I loved every minute of it. And so I started doing some research, and one of the things that really struck me as a nurse was learning that the Unimate and the balance, and then of course Unicity had all these others in the physician's desk reference. And in my mind, I'm like, what? I mean, I had been doing natural stuff. I was a supplement junkie. I had stacks and stacks of supplements, spending way more money than I spend now on my health then. And I obviously, you see, I got no results, right? So when I started learning about the physician's desk reference and Unicity science page, I was like, holy cow, this is amazing. And it just consequently, my husband had come home from his annual physical, and he did not get a good report. He had fatty liver. His AST was way up in the 80s. It should have been down near the 20 mark. And I'm like, oh my God. And he was huffing and puffing. And my husband is a hard worker. He works outside. He's an electrician. No matter rain, snow, heat, cold, it doesn't matter. He doesn't huff and puff. And he was huffing and puffing. I'm like, it was August. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? So I was really concerned about him. And so I ordered the system for him. And he did it for like 3 weeks and he was doing so well. And he's like, you know what? I'm not huffing and puffing. After 3 weeks, he was breathing normal. And I'm like, you're doing so well. He was dropping weight like crazy. But men do that. They lose weight quick. And it was probably a lot of swelling that he had going on too. And I was like, I wanted to purchase it for myself because I had been fasting. He said he couldn't fast. And I said, oh, yeah, you will. And you're going to take this to help you. And he did. And he was doing great. So I was just really too cheap to buy two, if that makes sense. I didn't want to spend the money on myself. See, I wanted to help him. But I did it for myself. And because I thought, well, I've wasted all this money anyway on all this other stuff. And I tried everything. So I had even done like a candida cleanse because I had candida as well. And sure enough, 1 month goes by. I was very patient because I knew I was giving it 90 days. I was in it for the 90 days. And I just wanted to see. And I really had nothing to lose at this point. So sure enough, month 1, the very first 3 weeks, first of all, I was bloated bad. I had the adjustment period because my gut was so bad with candida and, autoimmune. We all have leaky gut. That's just part of autoimmune disease. That's what causes a lot of times because our gut is leaking and it's going into our bloodstream. And then that's what happens. But the very first thing I came off of medication wise was meloxicam. I had been on 15 milligrams for about 7 years due to inflammation and pain and joint pain due to autoimmune. And I was like, I didn't even tell my doctor about that one. But he did work with me on the others. But that one, I just thought, I'm going to quit taking it and see what happens. I didn't need it. I was fine. I started feeling good. That Unimante, after month 1, I started drinking it twice a day. At that time, it was the Balance twice a day and the Unimante 1 time a day. But I was doing both twice a day after month 1. Then I was losing, 1 pound to 2 pounds a week, which I thought, well, that's healthy. It's not overboard. I'm not in this to lose weight. I'm in this to heal. And I really wanted to heal my gut. That was my main priority because I knew if I could get control over that, I could start seeing some results. So month 2, month 3 goes by, I start shrinking, like not necessarily scale, maybe, 15 pounds, whatever. I really wasn't focused on the scale because I already knew the scale lied. Like I knew a long time ago, you just don't look at the scale. So I looked at my measurements. I looked at my clothes and dropping clothes. I was pulling clothes out of my closet that I hadn't worn in years. Dr. Tiffany, how we hold on to clothes because, we're going to fit into them again one day. And that to me was just an amazing moment when I hit month 3 and 4. I'm like, I'm going to keep going. And then come month 5, I decided to do the cleanse that Unicity has. And wow, I did that for 30 days and that kind of sealed it with a kiss. And over time, over the next year, I went to the endocrinologist, and after 1 year, my antibodies were over 3,600, and after the first year, they were 400. And she said, "Well, you're always going to have them. Just don't worry about that. We don't treat based on that." And I said, "Well, we'll see. We'll just see." And then the second year, I got my antibodies checked, and now they are less than 9. And on our labs, the high is 34. So mine were 3,600. Now they're less than 9, which means, hey, my antibodies have been so suppressed by the Unimate, drinking that twice a day, the inflammation. I quit going to get the injections. I've come off of everything now except they took my Synthroid and they lowered it from 7 days a week down to 1 day a week. And my endocrinologist said, "Well, you are a very unusual case." And I'm like, you think?
Right.
So yeah, well, I know what did it. It wasn't my diet, because I'll be honest, I drink my balance and I pretty much eat what I want. I do not starve myself. I a lot of times eat 1 meal a day, and I love it. And I just eat what I want. I don't eat junk, but I do eat pizza certain days of the week. It's my favorite. And I have been known to eat some chips and salsa. So I'm excited. And I just want to scream it from the rooftop, because it's like, what? And I'm 55 now. I feel like I'm in my 20s. My
Yes.
life is very demanding right now, and I'm a go, go, go on the go, and I survive it every single day. And it's because of this stuff right here that I just keep going.
Yes, yes. I love it. I love to hear her story every time. I think I did a video with you as soon as I was able to meet you. And I was like, this woman right here,
Right.
this is a phenomenal woman. Y'all got to hear this story.
Yeah, well, it's just changed my life completely. I mean, intermittent fasting obviously helps lower your inflammation as well, but this balance and Unimate gives me the freedom. I'm 55. I don't want to starve myself. I've done the 800-calorie diets. And what's interesting is when I did the 800-calorie diets, my face was still super inflamed.
That part.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, Crystal, I love this. What I want to do, I'm gonna shut off your camera here for just a few minutes. I'm gonna blaze through how we use the system, and then I definitely want to bring you back out.
Sure, absolutely.
You'll kind of hang out backstage for us. I know there's gonna
Sure, absolutely.
I
Thank
know
you.
there's gonna be some questions for you.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, let me jump through. How do we do this system? It seems too good to be true. And so a couple of things. Everybody is weary of something they see online, and that's been a common theme throughout every single guest, it seems like, that's been on here. They were weary. They tried it, and now they're one of our guests on this testimonial thing, right? That's
Right.
kind of the way that it works. You have nothing to lose, everything to gain. Unicity offers a 90-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied with the product, ask for a refund. They'll give you all of your money back. It's that simple. I mean, there's nothing to lose. Okay, so the way this works, you've heard the word Unimate. Unimate is a yerba mate extract. I would normally dive into what is yerba mate a little deeper and some of the science behind it, but we're a little bit pressed for time. So yerba mate is a South American tea. It's been pretty widely consumed for the last 500 to 1,000 years. There are some amazing things with yerba mate. The indigenous people of the regions of South America that are now Argentina, Brazil, and Paraguay would say that it was the drink of the gods. It gave them an amazing boost of energy. It made them feel full. What was it about that? Well, there's something inside of yerba mate called chlorogenic acid. Now, chlorogenic acid has been scientifically proven to lower blood pressure, aid in weight loss, help with lipids control, help with glucose regulation. It's been proven to do a lot of different things, and it's in this tea called yerba mate. Another little thing that yerba mate does is induces GLP-1 production. Now, you heard Dr. Tiffany earlier talking about Ozempic and Mounjaro, and those are GLP-1 receptor agonists. They are synthetic forms of the hormone that our gut produces, GLP-1. And yerba mate stimulates that. Now, one of the things inside of yerba mate that does that is chlorogenic acid. Now, chlorogenic acid, well, we can get that in just about anything. It's one of the most abundant polyphenols on earth. It is most abundant in a green coffee bean. So just listen to those words, okay? Because it's going to mean something in a moment. It is most abundant in a green coffee bean. Green is in not roasted yet, freshly harvested. That on earth, that's the best place to get it. Now, Unimate, what they do is they purchase the leaves from the original farmers in South America. They're not doing some sort of GMO experiment and trying to grow them in Utah or Nevada. They're still growing them in that region of the world. That's really the best place to grow it, in that environment. Real thick, red clay-like soil and a dense rainforest climate. You can't really replicate that anywhere else. So they grow it there. They still hand harvest the leaves. They still fire roast the leaves the way that it's always been done. But then they stop the traditional process and they extract the things that we want, things like chlorogenic acid. Then they concentrate that product. They highly concentrate it, and then they purify it. They get rid of the things that we don't want, things like pesticides and heavy metals and that sort of thing. And they end up with what we call a yerba mate extract, Unimate. Now, Unimate has about 20 times the chlorogenic acid of a typical cup of yerba mate and about 10 times the chlorogenic acid of a typical cup of coffee. Remember, coffee was the most abundant resource on earth? 10 times that in a single packet of Unimate. So what do? First thing in the morning, we wake up and we drink one of those. You can drink it hot. You can drink it cold. I forgot to bring my little bottle out. Tiff, do you have your bottle handy? Yes, she does. That bottle right there. They're going to send you one of those when you order the kit. And on the back of it, there's a line for Unimate. You can use that line right there. See at the top, right where actually she's got it right to the Unimate line. You can fill that up with water, add your packet of Unimate. There are 3 different flavors: lemon, lemon ginger, and a limited time apple spice. Here's the deal. Apple spice tastes like apple cider. It's a limited time flavor. It's kind of the taste of Christmas in a cup. There's lemon, and then there's lemon and ginger. Lemon and ginger has that ginger bite. If you know what I'm talking about, that ginger bite. So if you don't like the ginger bite, lemon. Everybody likes lemon. I love the bite, so I go from lemon to lemon ginger. You can do one of each if you'd like. So the first thing you do is you wake up and you drink one of those. And again, you can use the bottle that Dr. Tiffany's drinking hers out of right now. I choose a Yeti tumbler mug. This one's about twice the volume of that bottle. I don't use cold water in here. I use hot water. I have one of those electric kettles on my countertop. However you want to do it. The key is you want to sip it. Sip it. Don't chug it. Sip it. That's first thing in the morning. You wake up in the morning, go make yourself a Unimate. You will come to crave that drink. First thing in the morning, you'll want it. When it's gone. When it's gone, just start drinking the second one. Just like that. You can drink that one again, hot or cold, in as much or as little water as you want. I go 50-50 on that. We're transitioning in the summer right now to summer in Colorado, so it's not so cold during the winter. I drink it hot, a second one always hot during the summer. I tend to go a little bit cold. I still dilute it. I use a 1 liter bottle instead of a half liter bottle. Again, as much or as little water as you want, hot or cold. The key is to sip. Sip. Small sips. The second product we have is called Balance, and there are 2 different flavors of Balance. There's what we call natural orange that's been around for 35 years now, and mixed berry. Mixed berry's been on the market for about a year now. Natural orange tastes like an orange Julius. To me, it tastes like an orange Julius. Dr. Tiff, is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some people say orange creamsicle. I just don't think I ever had one of those.
Oh, okay, kind of, yeah.
Okay. And the mixed berry, I think, tastes like a Jolly Roger or a Jolly Rancher. Rancher, yeah. What is it? I keep on saying Jolly Rancher.
I know.
In my barbecue world, a good friend of mine has a seasoning called Jolly Roger.
Oh.
It's one of my favorite ones. And I think that's why I keep saying it.
That's it.
Anyway, Loot and Booty, Jolly Roger. Little plug for my buddy, Loot and Booty Barbecue, Jolly Roger. Anyway, it tastes like a Jolly Rancher. Now, what you do, that same bottle that Tiff has right there has a little line on it that says balance. You fill that up. This time we are going to say just cold water. Do
Yep.
not use hot
That's better.
water. That is a mistake you'll make one time. Hot water. You'll make that mistake one time. You want that in really cold water, okay? It's fiber. It's going to start to gel. You're going to take that bottle and give it about 7 or 8 kind of aggressive shakes. And then you're going to drink that thing like your college party days, like you're just getting that thing down the hatch. It's the exact opposite of the Unimate. I want that one down the hatch as quick as possible, and then you're going to enjoy your meal. You drink that one before the heaviest carbohydrate meal of the day. And by the heaviest carbohydrate meal of the day, I mean like the one where you're going to have pasta, or you're going to have white bread, or you're going to have
your pizza.
your pizza. Yeah, your pizza. Okay. That's it. That is the system.
Yeah.
If you use the system for 90 consecutive days and you're not happy, they will give you all of your money back.
Yeah.
It is that simple. Now, something I keep on forgetting to mention is that you can use your HSA or your FSA. You can use those. If you want to order the system, get with the person who invited you to this live stream. They have a link, a referral link. They will give you their link. That will guarantee you the best price on the market. You cannot beat that price. When they give you their referral link, that is the cheapest price you can get. You're giving the manufacturer your money. You're not giving your friend your money. You're not giving us your money. You're giving Unicity your money. Unicity is then fulfilling the order. They want to make sure that they are the ones that ship you the product. Don't go and buy it from other places like, Amazon. Don't do that. You're going to overpay, and it's not sanctioned. The company does not authorize those sales. So only use the link. Okay? What did I miss, Dr. Tiff? Did I miss anything?
No, I don't think so. Somebody has a question. Doesn't matter what type of water. I don't do tap, but filter tap. Yeah, you can do any type of water. Sometimes I'll add some sparkling water with my Unimate. It just makes me feel fancy.
Makes me think of sweet tarts. Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Sweet tart is good.
Okay, so so glad to hear these success stories, right? It's amazing, isn't it? And I get asked all the time about hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's. It seems, and it truly it hits a lot of men just the same. We have a good friend of ours, Jimmy, who has it, had hypothyroidism, but it seems to affect, and maybe doctor, is this just me thinking this, or is there some legitimacy to it? It seems like it's more aggressive in women. Like we see it more in women, hypothyroidism.
We do see it more in women.
Okay.
Now, the why to that, I don't remember.
Well, it is a hormonal thing, and we know that women have much different hormones.
We do see autoimmune diseases in women more often, so I'm sure there's some sort of a link.
Well, there's a question for 3 women. I will let one of you take that. I'm out of that. I don't know.
Well, our ovaries are very sensitive to insulin resistance, and I sure did stop having my hot flashes after 2 months. I sure did. So lots of people have had improvement in their menopausal symptoms. Would you agree, Crystal?
Yes, ma'am. I did too, because I am post-menopausal now. But when I started this, I was in the middle. I was in the end of it all, and I was having hot flashes, and they disappeared. 90-day window, I remember that.
Yeah, I did too. I was surprised.
Well,
Now,
I think our hormones are, I think women are more prone to be insulin resistant. Like you said, our ovaries are more sensitive to it. And overall, I think, they told me my thyroid was dead. It was never going to work again. But evidently my insulin was so high that getting it down has helped kind of push my thyroid along.
oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. That
Well,
fibroid comment, I like that one. Oh, I'm sorry, Espinola. Were you going to say something?
I was just going to say they did something very unusual when I was in my 20s and had a procedure done for my thyroid, and they irradiated it. And so they thought that it had killed the whole thing. And as I grew older, they figured out that it was a little bit of it left. But I feel more like some of the symptoms that came from my thyroid, my Graves' disease, are lessening. So I'm definitely ready to see my doctor this summer and to see what my numbers are now.
Mhm.
Denise Sykes says, how many meals do you need to eat daily? So I'm going to talk specifically about the field rate system. The field rate system would say a 16 and 8 time based eating schedule. And so that means a 16-hour block of time between two meals. For me personally, at 8 p.m., I'm done eating. I don't eat again until noon the following day. That is 16 consecutive hours. Between the hours of noon and 8, that is the remaining 8 hours of the day that I can have meals. I have two meals. I have one right around noon. Today I had it about 1 o'clock. And then I have another one again before 8. Now, today in Colorado, it's 7 p.m. right now. I'll probably be done eating in the next hour, but tonight I might go over that 8 p.m., and that just means I won't eat until that much later tomorrow. So, two meals. There are some people that choose to do what they call OMAD, which is one meal a day from time to time, or even as a consistent thing. And then there are some people that really dive into some extended fasts. But the protocol itself really calls for two meals per day and 16 and 8 time based eating. I hope that answers your question. Does anybody else want to add to that?
I I I really lost the appetite. I did not feel that, the snacking that I used to do. I used to have snacks set up all around my desk because I knew I wouldn't move. And that snacking just went away because I was sipping all day. And by the time I got toward the first meal, it breezed right through. I ended up only having that one meal. So it does have some kind of effect on the appetite.
You know what is funny to me, and I know that Dr. Tiffany does quite a bit of travel. I do quite a bit of travel. I feel like I'm in an airport like every week, every other week right now. And the airport food scene, it's all carbohydrates. The airline gives you a bag of pretzels or a bag of cookies or something like that. Uh, I fly out early in the morning often. Of course, the Einstein bagel shop, whatever it is that's in there, they've always got bagels. It's 4 a.m. and people are eating a bagel. Like, would you, if you were at home, would you be eating a bagel right now at 4 a.m.? Like, we just feel like when we're traveling, we have to eat something, right?
Hmm.
You're at the airport, you have to buy some food. And
Yep.
um, really, when you're on this system, you're sipping your Unamate. I'm sitting in an airport thinking, oh, I remember when I used to think I had to have a bagel when I
Yeah.
was at the airport first thing in the morning, and I don't. It's gone now. I just don't have that. Okay, I'm going to start wrapping it up when we're a little bit long here. So let's rapid fire here. Crystal, if somebody were to come to you, and there are skeptics in the audience, there are skeptics out there everywhere, right? But there are people watching right now that think that this is snake oil. 30 seconds. What do you say to that person?
Sorry about your bad luck. Because I have been my life has completely changed. Um, they don't really sell snake oil. I mean, I think the studies speak volumes as, being in the medical field. The studies are amazing. And having those, research it, do what I did. I did. And hey, I, I I just would hate for anybody to miss out on it. So I'd hate for them to think it's snake oil.
Espinola, the same exact question to you.
I would definitely say it won't hurt you to try it for 90 days. And you have a guarantee that if it's not for you, you get your money back. So what do you have to lose? Nothing, really.
I love it. Ladies, thank you for joining us tonight. I really do appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. These were two amazing testimonials. And Espinola, I did not know that there was a Hashimoto's hypothyroidism, Graves' disease connection with you as well.
Mhm.
So, what an amazing live stream. I think we really drove home the point here. Thank you, ladies, very much. Dr. Tiffany.
Yes, yes, yes. What you know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say the same thing I do. That's why I got my cape. That's why I got my white coat. I'm gonna bring my cape next week. Look, I am really on here to reach those people that are sitting there not taking their medications, sitting there miserable. One, they don't like the side effects. They don't trust the medications. So we have something natural to give a try for 90 days. Your prescriptions you can't give a try. You can't. So it becomes a no-brainer. I'm here for the people that are struggling with their whole basket of medications, thinking that's the only way to go. That's their only life. It is not. You do not have to keep taking all those medications if you don't want to. With the help of your doctor and using these natural products, you can be somebody like Crystal that has gotten off of so many medications. So, why not try? That's all I got.
That's all. Mic drop.
I know. That's what I need.
And how do I follow it up? You know what? I'm just going to say that every week, week in, week out, people are skeptical, and I totally understand why. I get it. I totally get it. It seems too good to be true. If it were a scam, scams don't give you your money back. If it was a scam, it would be the worst scam on the planet. So,
right?
It's not a scam, okay? Your friends that are inviting you to this, they're not trying to scam you. And if they are, they're horrible friends. You need to stop being friends with them on Facebook. But the people that are inviting you this they're not trying to scam you. They think this could help you. Give it a shot. Dr. Tiff, thank you very much.
Yes, thank
We'll
you,
see
Jim.
you next Wednesday. Everybody, thank you very much. We'll talk to you next